you don't have a choice. There's always a choice.
Not always.
Why are you trying to destroy us?
Hello and welcome back to A Stark Contrast, where we discuss the differences and similarities between Marvel Comics and their MCU counterparts. And we're your hosts, Geoffrey
and Dai.
Hello, and welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back,
We
Jeff.
are surviving this heat.
I know, the heat wave.
It takes out so much out of me. I'm like, oh my God, am I tired? I'm like, I didn't even do anything today, but I'm like, I stepped outside for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my God.
I know. It was so warm that even though my phone indicated that at that moment it was 86, my car was registering the temperature outside as 99.
Yeah,
I was like, what?
There was a point when I was driving or whatever, home or whatever, my car was registering 101. I mean, granted, yes, I leave my car outside,
Sure,
but also
but still.
gosh.
Yeah. Frying an egg territory. Well, fall is coming, and I have adorned my space with my Halloween stuff. Even the cat toys are Halloween themed now. So we're ready to go, and I'm ready for the cold weather, or at least the cool weather.
Yeah.
And so so it's coming up quick, and then we'll be in spooky season. I still haven't thought of who our second spooky season character will be.
Oh my God, yes.
So if anybody has any suggestions, please let us know, because
Yes.
I want to hear.
Yeah.
And a couple came to mind. So I was like, oh, maybe we should do Dr. Doom. And I was like, oh, but then RDJ next year.
And late next year too.
Yeah,
We won't even. I just feel like, kind of have to wait on that one.
Yeah, I think we're going to wait. But I was like, oh, there's Thanos. We still haven't talked about Thanos.
We haven't?
No.
I mean,
Have we? I don't think we
have.
No, and we've mentioned him a few times. Yeah, no, there's no Thanos in our catalog. So,
all right.
So maybe Thanos. I don't know, but our other spooky season character is going to be none other than Mephisto. So. So if somebody else comes along, let us know, folks. But until then, let's go to some Marvel news. So I didn't take too many notes on the latest stuff, but there are two great things that have just dropped aside the norm. I mean, it's kind of weird, right? After the Spider-Man high.
Yes.
It's dead quiet. It's just gone quiet all over again.
Cooking.
It's like,
They're cooking.
Yeah, they're cooking. And so Marvel Rivals just released their latest updates for character releases, and a new animated trailer features none other than Daredevil.
Yeah, I saw that.
And Angela. I don't know if you're familiar with Angela.
I didn't even see that one. I just saw all Daredevil on my timeline.
She's in there. She's in it.
Okay.
She's in that trailer with him. Angela is interesting. Very quickly, she used to be a character from a different publisher that Marvel kind of absorbed when her license ran out, and then they put her in the Thor universe, where she fit very perfectly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. And so it's an interesting choice to pull her in. She's very Asgardian, as you can imagine, and she's very strong. So I'm curious how she's going to play. I haven't even played Rivals. It's
been so long.
Yeah, at least May, I think.
Yeah, it's a long time.
At least. And I really want to get in there because I want to see how Jean works and all that stuff. And Blade, you know? It's like, but I might just have to spectate for the rest of my life. I don't know if I can play anymore. But yeah, so they're dropping soon. I don't know if it's, I think it's the 8th. I'm not sure, but very, very soon. So be sure to look out for that. But in bigger news, and I hope you watched this trailer, Marvel Zombies is finally coming.
Yup.
How did you like the trailer?
I was like, oh, it's violent.
Oh, yes. Yeah. And Marvel Zombies, as a comic book title, was so popular back in the day. Constantly, people trying to get it, even when it came out. Because I was working at the comic shop, I think, when it first dropped. Or we were at least, supplementing issues because it was just so popular. Yeah, I'm glad that they're doing it.
Yeah.
And even dropping the Kate Bishop saying shit in the trailer. I was like, huge. For animation?
Spider-Man.
Huge. Oh, yeah. The Spider-Man shot is money shot. Great shot.
Wow.
And then my wife is in it.
Which one? Oh, yes.
Florence Pugh.
Yes, she is.
Like, literally her voice.
Yeah. They got a lot of
I'm so excited. Yeah. And it's a series, right? It's not just a single. It's not just like a special, is it?
It's episodic.
It's episodic, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I see it again. I haven't even looked at anything in the last few weeks, but I did watch that trailer and I loved it. And I thought the whole vibe is like, I'm there. So September 24th is when it starts streaming on Disney Plus.
Very soon.
So excited. And then I reshared on Twitter, our Twitter, and I was just like, bring Cap Zombie back, because I still haven't seen him. And because yeah, they brought him out when What If first dropped at California Adventure, but I've never seen him since.
I mean, maybe during Halloween season.
He better come back.
At least one or two zombies.
I know, right? That'd be so cool. And especially because of this series. So I'm excited to see what stems from it. But all that said, are you ready to talk about this character, Jeff?
Oh, yeah.
This one's definitely one for you, because, it's one of those, your ladies.
Yeah.
Where does Sue Storm fit on your tier of Marvel ladies?
Now?
Yeah.
Or like the actors who played them?
I know. I guess there are two different versions.
Oh, yeah.
Sue,
I mean, for what it's worth, she is my main on Marvel Rivals. She's the best. Sosin.
I freaking read.
Johnny.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, they kill me.
Disappear.
Yeah, that's right.
She's up there.
She's up
especially
there.
Now, especially with the new version of them in the MCU.
Yeah.
After she mothered so hard.
Scarlet Witch still number one.
Still has to be.
Okay. That was the question.
She's still on my Instagram, and I still have a pic with her.
Yeah.
The moment I either get a pic with Vanessa Kirby, then maybe
the tides will change. Yeah. All right. So as we get into it, just a quick reminder: we're not experts. We don't claim to be. We're just a couple of nerds nerding out. And in this episode, we're nerding out all about Susan Storm.
Oh, yeah.
AKA the Invisible Woman. And fair warning, this episode is riddled with first steps spoilers. So if you still haven't watched the movie, that's on you.
Yeah.
So as for Sue, we do have some related episodes to this character. Episode 114, our mini Marvel number 19, was all about Fantastic Four first steps. And then, yes, episode 94, Agatha Harkness, was also semi-related to Susan Storm.
Wow.
And then episode 65, Kang. A little bit of the Richards family. Yeah. But otherwise, when it comes to Sue as a character, she was created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby.
The goats.
And the first appearance might look a little familiar to some of you because it is Fantastic Four number one.
Oh, wow. That's literally
That is literally in the movie.
It's not in the movie, but it's in it's the Little Caesars commercial.
No, it's in the movie.
Was it?
Yeah. It's in the movie. I thought it was only the Little Caesars trailer as well.
It was one of those flashbacks.
Yes, it's one of the flashbacks.
When the Fantastic Four, they're coming as a...
Yes, and they're fighting.
That's right.
The giant monster coming out.
I only remember the monkey.
Yeah. The monkey's memorable. And so, full appearance, Fantastic Four, number one, November 1961. So you got to remember, this is the big one. This is the big launch that really catapulted Marvel's official superhero themed comic book titles.
Crazy.
And
so they really recreated that cover. It's crazy.
I know. That's what's so incredible about it, I think, too, is that if you don't know it until you see it.
That's numero uno, Fantastico Quattro Uno.
Yes. Is it La? It would be La Fantastico Quattro numero uno. Novembre. I don't know how to say it.
Noviembre. I'm not going to. Nope. Not even going to try that.
So how much do you think?
12.
Oh, Jeff, you're so
It's a
close.
tenner?
It's a tenner.
Should have known.
It's a tenner. 10 centavos would have gotten you this. You could have gotten this at the dime store back in 1961.
Let's see how much condition of that is worth.
Yeah.
Because this is actually, now we're talking about like a family of 4 that is probably the characters.
Yeah.
It's not like
truly.
It's like a cameo into a note. This is like the start.
Yeah, 100%. The absolute start, and really what catapulted Marvel as Marvel Comics, you know?
Exactly.
And so there's no way to actually judge and acquire a high grade version of this book. You can't just do it. You have to go to auction to even get close.
Someone's sitting on this.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like they're waiting.
Yeah. It's in somebody's attic. They're doing something like me where it's just tucked away and they're like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have this. And as recent as last year, Fantastic Four #1 graded at a near mint 1961
That's
book
crazy.
is insane. That's
anything over a 9 for that is kind of that's super insane.
My Gambit from 1992 barely got a 9. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
1961, 9.2 sold in 2022 for $1.5 million.
What a great
9.2. So if you can imagine how much higher, it could even triple, right? Because there are currently 2,580 copies of this comic that are registered in the database.
An original #1.
Original #1s that have been graded. So this doesn't count every copy, because back in the day, I don't know in 1961 how many issues they would press. Now it's upwards of like 10, 50,000, depending on how popular the comic is. So I'm assuming that it was maybe 5,000, maybe 3. You know, it might have not.
Because it was the first one.
It was the first one. It was 1961.
You don't know how it's going to do.
Yeah, you know, it's the olden times. And so only 3 of the 2,500 are graded at 9.6. So 3 9.6s exist in the world. And apparently they're valued at $2 million a pop. And all 3 could possibly belong to the same person.
That's crazy.
For all we know. Yeah.
That's
it happens.
crazy.
I'm pretty sure at one point Nick Cage had two issues of Action Comics.
Really?
Superman's first appearance.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he sold them, but he has one. He's obsessed with Superman, by the way, if you
That's
didn't know.
fair. I get it.
But yeah, so imagine that this 1961 book there are people that have 9.6s of it. It's incredible.
It's like, how do you know when to sell
I know,
those, right?
when you got to pull the trigger.
Yeah.
And so even at the low end, you could still expect to pay nearly $7,000 for even a 2.0 of this book. So I was like, oh, I wonder. One day I was like, I wonder if I can get Jeff oh, never mind. I was like, oh, that's not happening.
That is crazy.
Yeah. So even a 2.0, $7,000. And then you could get a raw copy. There is a raw copy on eBay. The person has listed it at $15,000.
Oh, raw is meaning ungraded?
Ungraded, just the comic as it is in a plastic sleeve. And I'm like, homie, you're just walking around with, I got Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
We don't know what the condition is. He says it's great, but what does that mean to anybody? So he could get a cool $15,000 for it. And he listed it as, a potential 3 to 4.0.
Well, just get it graded, man.
I know, just get it graded.
Pay that, and then you'll and once it's graded, you'll make so much more money.
Exactly. So, the important question: first exposure to the character.
04.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang.
Jessica Alba.
And I was telling Jeff before we started recording. Yeah, I watched the films. I watched the 2004, 5, and then the 2015 almost back to back, and I was like,
because Surfer came out 07.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah. And so, Jessica Alba. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Way. Tiny baby years, like for sure.
Wow.
Like they were just embedded in my brain already.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were always around. It was like a relative. I was like, oh yeah, Fantastic Four. And I don't know how they came to be. But I came to know them better because, very similarly with Iron Man and the Avengers in general, I didn't read the comics. I wasn't a Fantastic Four kid
Uh-huh.
at all. And I think maybe just because I had missed that boat a little bit, that I was, again, so into X-Men.
Yeah.
That it just didn't work for me. But I religiously watched the cartoon because they also had a TV show.
Yes.
Subsequent to Amazing Spider-Man and Iron Man and all those shows that happened on Saturday. And so I got to know them better through there. But the comic version I didn't know as well as I do now. So yeah, I must have been 8. Must have been 8 or 9
Wow,
when I first...
That's
the trading cards, yeah.
early.
Yeah. And so we do have Susan.
Susan.
Susan! In my mini book, I have tons and tons and tons of trading cards of her. So I was like, okay. But I remember many of them being my favorite just because I thought it was so cool that there was like, oh, this like girl is kicking butt with the Fantastic Four. And so Susan Sue Storm Richards, height 5'6".
Nice.
120 pounds.
Okay.
Place of origin, Glenville, Long Island, New York. So for her bio, like her brother Johnny, fiancé Reed, and friend Ben, Sue Storm was a reluctant astronaut whose ill-fated flight aboard an experimental spaceship resulted in cosmic ray exposure that imbued Sue with the invisibility and other super abilities she would wield as a member of the Fantastic Four. Pretty simple.
Yeah.
Pretty simple. It's the premise of everything that they've pretty much been in, except for one thing that we'll talk about eventually. And as for the first appearance and origin, so this is obviously, again, it's the first issue of the first family of the first major superhero title from Marvel. So they didn't do the thing that a lot of comics tend to do now where they have a first appearance, but they don't talk about what happened until later.
Yeah.
So this is all in one issue. Even the fight with Mole Man is in this issue. And so, contrary to popular belief, let alone what the films have taught us, the way the four came together that fateful day lacked a lot more planning than anyone could imagine. Because in the movies, they make it seem so like they're put together. They're like, all right, let's go. We're ready to do this mission. No, it was not like that in the comic. And so, thankfully, everything is explained in Fantastic Four #1.
Love
there's,
that.
There's no time jump. There aren't years in between the first appearance and the origin. It's just presented together in classic form, storytelling. And so we join the four in the midst of a heated conversation. And so very quickly, Sue is also, it's worth noting that she's the first panel of the book.
Oh, wow.
So she just immediately, you were introduced to Sue Storm. And so when they finally come together for this mission, however, they're having this heated conversation. And Ben, especially in the early years, was far more of a hothead. Very punchy.
Okay.
Very, like, not so... I don't know what you would, like, heart of gold sweet almost, like a big bear type that he is kind of known to be.
Yeah.
He was more like against the grain, especially with Reed. And so he was notoriously smoking a cigar, which a lot of the characters did back in the day. It was either a pipe or cigar.
Yep. Sounds about right.
Yeah. 60s, man. And so he's fighting with Reed over flying to space to begin with. And Ben is just saying over and over, we aren't ready. We haven't done the research. We don't know about cosmic rays. And it's quickly evident that it's all coming to a head at this very moment, because in real life, in 1961, the happenings of the space race, aka Soviet Union and the US racing to beat each other with superior spaceflight capacity per wiki. In fact, this issue takes place just over 6 months after the USSR sent their first human into orbital space.
Interesting.
So Stan and Jack were just like, woo! What can we do?
Yeah.
Where's my Stan voice? Find my Stan voice. What can we do for our comic books, Jack? And yeah, they put together this incredible story based off of loosely real events. And so back to the four. So Ben's like unwavering. He's like, I'm not going to go. I'm not going to do the space thing. And it isn't until Sue straight up calls him a coward. She's like, I didn't think that you would be a coward, Ben. And he's like, I'm not a coward. Let's go right now. And then they decide to go do it. And they speed off to this spaceport. And then, again, there's a severe lack of planning. And it's so funny because Reed just kind of is just like, I guess we're gonna have to figure things out. Like, he already knows that they're going.
Yeah.
Despite the fighting that's happening. And then they finally go. And then Ben and Reed, very qualified men. They are of space, if you will.
Yeah.
Ben is a pilot. And then Reed is Reed Richards, who is already identified as the most intelligent man in the universe.
Yeah.
But Sue and Johnny were quite literally there for the ride. And so it's literally, Sue is like, oh, well, I'm your fiance, so I go where you go. And then Johnny's like, well, she's my sister. So I go where she goes.
Pretty much.
And then they're like, well, I guess we're all going to space.
Wow.
And that's how it came together, which is a very different depiction
100%.
than what the films have done. They're like
Yes.
Dr. Susan Storm, and
Yes.
her brother is also
they're all
mildly-
like smart astronauts or
Yeah.
whatever, scientists.
And
yes.
that's not to dumb down the comic book versions, but
It's the first version, you know?
yeah,
it's like, what do
it's-
you expect?
Yeah, exactly. And so if that wasn't good enough for you, it's all done somewhat illegally. Too, because despite it being a ship that Reed himself constructed,
Yeah.
they didn't do it with proper clearance. So they were just like, put on your suits and run to the spaceship, and then they take off. And so as their ship breaches Earth's atmosphere, the cosmic rays that Ben was talking about and warned them about start to take their effect on the ship. Very classic. And so first, Johnny feels himself burning up as if he's on fire. And then Ben, he's so weighted down, he feels himself like he can't get up off the floor. But like G-force is one thing, but he literally cannot. He's like, I'm so heavy, I can't feel it, whatever. And he's immobilized. But before we get to see the fate of Reed and Sue, the ship shoots into autopilot and it starts coming back to Earth. So they barely make it up. It's kind of like the Katy Perry thing. They go up
And then it's all right.
and it's right
going
back down. Yeah, they came right back down. There wasn't some epic space adventure. Yeah, it was very simplified back in the day. And so it comes back to Earth. And it crashes, essentially. And the four are all accounted for, alive and breathing, but none of them feel right.
Yeah.
It's then we see the effects taken on Sue, who starts to fade away, limb by limb, inch by inch, until she's fully invisible. And then
How did they depict that in the comics?
she's like dotted. She's like dotted. You see it in this other panel right here on the first page. So she's translucent.
That's funny.
And they refer to her quite a lot of like a ghost or like a spirit. Oh, I felt something brush near me.
Yeah.
And that's it. But, again, 1961. It isn't until much later that they got smart about it. Like they represented in the films, for instance.
Yeah.
So during this time, Susie is like officially invisible, and Ben is still pissed. He's very pissed at everything, and he's criticizing Reed's work. He's criticizing his method, his process, and then they get into another heated debate. And so Ben reaches for like a tree trunk and rips it out of the ground, and that's when he starts to transform into what we now know as the Thing. And so he starts trying to swing at Reed, and Reed's like, whoa. His body.
He's wah, 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 wah.
Exactly. He like wiggles out
Yeah.
of the way. And so you start to see their powers are manifesting. And then, of course, Johnny just bursts into flames. He's like, I'm on fire, but it doesn't hurt. And then he like realizes he can fly. And it all comes together very, very tight and neatly wrapped up in a bow. And they immediately, well, not immediately, but they reluctantly like realize like, oh, we have these powers now. We've got to do what we can to use them effectively and efficiently for the world. And so they start giving themselves names. And so I have this one panel here, and it shows them essentially doing the teamwork thing.
Wow.
It's like, I'm calling myself the Human Torch, and I'm with you all the way. And then same goes for me, the Invisible Girl. And there's only one still missing, Ben. And he's like, I ain't Ben anymore. I'm what Susan called me, the Thing. And Reed, and I'll call myself Mr. Fantastic.
Wow.
And so it was born, the Fantastic Four. And from that moment on, the world would never again be the same. So the thing, quite literally, Susan was like, he's turned into some thing. And that's how it happened.
Say that again?
Something. Oh. And that's how it is. They become the Fantastic Four. And then from then on out, they attempt to do the best with their powers that they can. And so, fun fact, quite similarly to Jean Grey and her first moniker, again, this is the 60s we're talking about, so there's a little bit of misogyny and things in the ether that they kind of dumb down the female characters a little bit. Not dumb down, that's not the word, but they diminish them a bit.
Okay.
And refer to them as Marvel Girl and Invisible Girl.
Instead of,
Yeah. But eventually, Susan does get the Invisible Woman moniker that we now know, and we'll explain that shortly. So, as for live action, Susan Storm, Invisible Woman, first portrayed by Rebecca Staub in the unreleased 1994 film, The Fantastic Four. I am dying to see this thing. Like the old school thing. Yeah. And I guess there's like a documentary about it, but I haven't looked it up yet. But she, along with the rest of the original Fantastic Four from that movie, all had cameos in First Steps, which is kind of amazing. And so Rebecca herself played a Channel 9 newscaster.
Yes.
And then we were introduced to Jessica Alba.
Oh, yeah.
In 2005. You mean Danny Ramirez's girlfriend?
Ugh, don't remind
Falcon
me.
and Invisible Woman?
Don't remind me.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
Man.
Crazy. Sad. Oh, man.
I've seen her in person, though, and that's I'll give myself that.
And she was dressed as who's she dressed
as?
as?
It was one of the twins from that one movie. It was like, it's not like Clueless.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
She's like in a
was
blue
it Romeo
dress.
and Michelle?
Yeah.
Yes. That's funny. And then Kate Mara in 2015's Fantastic Four, or Fan-Four-Stick.
Honestly, yeah, I don't know why.
I call it Fan-Four-Stick for sure.
Fan-Four-Stick.
Like they tried to be cool with the typography.
Yeah, it just doesn't work.
God, I have so many thoughts about that movie. But lest we forget, she's been most recently portrayed by Vanessa Kirby in 2025's Fantastic Four: First Steps, directed by Matt Shakman. Okay, do you have a favorite?
I mean,
biasness aside of who Jessica Alba is as the most beautiful woman in the world.
I agree.
Do you have a favorite Sue Storm?
I mean, yeah. I have to say Vanessa Kirby just because that third act and what she was able to like do.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah,
bar none.
Yeah.
But obviously, yeah, I love what Jessica Alba did with Invisible Woman.
Yeah, you know, it was funny because I was cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs when that movie came out.
It was a good like, movie.
Oh, I was so all over it. I was like, this is so good. And you have to remember, we're riding off of the Spider-Man Raimi trilogy hype as well.
Exactly.
During this time. Yes. And so I was like, oh, Marvel's really cooking back in the day,
Yeah, that's what they thought too.
Yeah, and that's what they thought for 100%, even though the studios were divided.
So it was like X-Men, Spider-Man, and then Fantastic Four.
Four.
The three heavy hitters of the Marvel comics.
Exactly. And so I was all about it. And then there was a time where I would look back on it and I was like, oh, this is actually really kind of bad. And then I came back to it. And then especially in my rewatch, I was like, no, this is actually really good.
It's pretty good.
It's like almost borderline cheesy, but it's just that the movies in that era, they all felt like that.
Oh my God.
All of them did.
Yeah.
It was basically a millennium thing.
Yes.
It was part of the code, right? So
cheesy writing? Oh yeah.
Cheesy writing, and just like even the filmography and the way that they treated the films, I was like, oh yeah, this is very
there was 100%.
a pinch of camp all over it, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so I did, it still holds up pretty well, I think. And I did like her as Sue a lot. I was like, the blue contacts and the blonde thing, like they destroyed her hair, which is why she had to wear a wig in the second movie.
Yes.
Yeah, because they bleached it to Kingdom Come. But she's still beautiful, and she still kind of sold it in a way, because she was supposed to be, I have it written down here. She was Victor Von Doom's director
Yes.
of Department of Genetic Research.
Sure, whatever that means.
Exactly. She was very interesting. Yeah, I think, though, all that said about Jessica Alba, Vanessa Kirby is my favorite by far. Like, I think she just absolutely nails it. And also, I think I said this way back when we were talking about Rivals and Sue's voice.
Yeah.
Where I was like, oh, I'm kind of disappointed that she has such a hey Johnny, like I don't like the young high adult little, like, she sounds like she's 18.
Sure.
And Vanessa Kirby brings this sort of grace that I expect from a character like Susan Storm.
Like a motherly,
almost
strong.
just like, yeah, she's independent and you can feel that she's confident.
Yes.
Even in her voice.
Yes.
And Vanessa Kirby checks that box. Not that Jessica Alba didn't, but she did have a much more youthful feel to her. But in the films, every story seemingly starts exactly the same. Susan Storm, Dr. Intellect, brother Johnny, crush and or relationship with Reed Richards, and friend Ben. And the interesting thing, so Jeff hasn't watched Fan Four Stick yet.
I know.
And you gotta see it because I'm dying for your.
I mean, every time I'm on Disney Plus, I'm like, there it is.
I'm dying for
and
your
I'm like,
reception.
Do I have the capacity right now? And I was every time it's like
I would watch a reaction video of you watching it.
This is like Sam's analogy to of like food. It's like, if I'm gonna, because like you can get like McDonald's, you can get whatever you want. So many accessible things.
Yeah.
But it's like, you don't really want to waste a bad meal.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, look, if I'm gonna go to a McDonald's or I'm gonna go to a Taco Bell or I want something quick and fast, I'm gonna go to something I like.
Yeah.
So I know a McDonald's, I know a Taco Bell, I know a Jollibee or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I haven't seen Fan Four Stick yet.
Fan Four Stick.
And it's every time I pass by it, I'm like, ooh, should I? And then I'm like, do I really want to enjoy my time for the next hour and a half, maybe?
Yeah.
I was like, you know what? I'm not into it. So I'll watch another thing.
I know. I'm dying for the day that you finally give in. Just because, I want to.
I know. And obviously we're talking about Sue. And every time we talk about another Fantastic Four member, I will say, because we're going to be doing Fantastic Four members, right?
Yep.
I will watch it by the time either we get to the last character.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. We'll see.
Yes. I will sit my booty down and watch Oscar-winning movie.
Oh my God. I just let me look it up real quick because I gotta see what it's got on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's 9.
Is it?
I think so. It's like under 20.
Oh yeah, 9% rotten on Rotten Tomatoes. 18% popcorn meter.
It's under 20% for even the fan. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not
bad.
good. But to contrast Jessica Alba's chief researcher of Victor Von Doom's Department of Genetic Research, Kate Mara, however, in Fan Four Stick, worked under her father at the Baxter Institute. So they took some very interesting plot points and kind of put them in a pot and then was like, Fantastic Four. It wasn't, because you can even see, just by looking at the key art, it's very dark. It is if Zack Snyder made the Fantastic Four. That's what I got
from, like, I remember watching trailers of it.
Super dark, and it was interesting because it was 2015.
Exactly, yes.
You would have sworn that movie came out at 2008, like subsequent after Spider-Man 3. It was so like dark rooted, like they were trying so hard. But then came 10 years later, Miss Vanessa Kirby portraying Dr. Susan Storm.
Oh yeah.
Leader of the Future Foundation. And so it really, the way that Vanessa came in and kind of contributed to the Sue Storm like circle, she really cemented the evolution of the character. Because it is funny to look back on Jessica Alba's, and she's getting a nosebleed from fighting Victor Von Doom.
Yes.
Whereas Vanessa Kirby quite literally fighting Galactus.
Yeah.
and pushing Galactus back.
Yep.
And she, I mean, spoiler
Passes
alert,
out.
she passes out.
Did she die?
And then she dies. Yeah, but it's incredible.
Yeah, she died.
Yeah, it's incredible how that whole evolution goes. Kate Mara, her whole thing was that, and you'll see this when you watch the movie, she's about the bubble. So she uses the bubble to transport everywhere.
She's Mr. Terrific, dude.
I know, right? That's funny. Yeah, even Mr. Terrific's got on unlock. Yeah, she floats everywhere. It's yeah. But it is interesting that she's come that far. But any favorite Sue moments? Either of them, any of them.
Ooh.
Yeah. And just FYI, once again, we talked about Fantastic Four First Steps all in a previous episode. So
I think the one that Jessica Alba one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Does she? I think she does.
What?
Was it Silver Surfer where they're on the London Ferris wheel? She like holds it.
Yeah.
Like with her first fields or whatever.
I think she does.
So that Reed can like wrap around.
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember her face to face with the Silver Surfer was a pretty cool moment.
Yeah. I know. I didn't get to watch it.
And then he's like, why did you? Or no, she asked him like, why did you spare me?
Yeah.
And then he's like, you remind me of her.
Doug Jones was the GOAT.
Yeah.
I loved him.
And so I was like, I was cool. And in terms of First Steps.
Yeah.
Oh, her speech.
Oh, the speech was great.
Oh,
yeah.
I was like, oh, they're doing this.
I will not sacrifice my child for this world.
But I will not sacrifice this world for my child.
Yeah.
And I was like,
yeah.
Preach.
She's just fantastic.
Preach.
I love her.
What?
Stop! I can't help it. I can't help it, which
Say
is
that
what
again?
I hate. I know. God. And that's why you have to watch that movie. It's just the way Miles Teller turns his head.
I've literally watched that on YouTube because I was just like, now I'm just
It's
curious.
so
Because I use that meme a lot.
Yeah.
Where he just turns, he's like,
Say
what was that?
So funny. Oh my God. And it's just like, oh yeah, he's portraying Reed Richards of all people too. It's just so funny. Oh my God, I can't.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that movie is just so funny. Difficult. I mean, the first movie with Jessica Alba, she has so many good one-liners that is just like...
You think?
What kills me in particular, I guess we could talk about this in Powers, but what kills me about Jessica Alba's version is that, again, we are dealt with 2005 planet, okay? Yes. The mentality was different. Again, turn of the century. The fact that she had to get naked to be fully invisible is crazy.
Yeah.
Looking back on it, I was like, they had this 24... She was 24 years old in that movie.
You gotta sell sex appeal at those times.
I was
so
it's like, dang.
I mean, that's why they probably casted the most attractive women at the time.
Especially at the time, yeah. It is crazy to look back on. That's the one thing that I think didn't age as well as I think they intended. Yeah. Because, that I was like, oh, she was naked in the middle of the Brooklyn Bridge, taking off her bra and underwear. And I was like, oh. Mm-hmm. Whereas we have Vanessa Kirby, who is putting her hand on her stomach and showing her husband the baby.
Crazy.
The contrast is insane.
Crazy.
Yeah. And so, all that aside, I still liked Jessica Alba's portrayal. And the part that I thought was just really funny was when Reed is like, do you remember what you were thinking about when you first got shot with the cosmic rays? And she's like, yes. And it's like that magnifying glass. And he's just like, do you think you could replicate that thought again? And she's like, sure, I can try. And she's so serious that she's unserious. But I still like her. She's so punchy throughout the entire film. And she's a little different in Silver Surfer for obvious reasons because her role gets turned up a little bit.
Heightened a little bit,
Yeah, and it was less about the boys. It was more about her. Yeah. And so I like that a lot. I wish I'd gotten to rewatch it in time. But yeah, I mean, Vanessa Kirby, though, man. Kate Mara, I'm sorry, but...
I'll let you know when I finally watch.
The vibes are just not there. So as for aesthetic, so the Fantastic Four First Steps costume designer was Alexandra Byrne, who also worked on Thor, The Avengers, and Guardians of the Galaxy. So if you like those costumes, she's why. And then, as you can see on our doc, all across the board, the outfits were pretty great. But holy God, did Fan Four Stick miss the mark? Fan Four Stick, I think it was intended to be dark blue, but it looks black. It films black.
Yeah.
So they really tried to do this edgy technological thing, which I forgot to mention very quickly. Sue in Fan Four Stick doesn't even get to go to space. So she gets irradiated with the cosmic rays from Earth because of this teleportation device that Reed has created. So she's not even in space with the Fantastic Four. And she still became invisible. So one big gripe. But in Fan Four Stick, their outfits are supposed to represent their powers in some way, but really it's kind of like, And at least Jessica Alba's, hers was based off of the Ultimate Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
So Miles Morales universe, which is interesting. It's an interesting take, but it still made more sense. And then you have the goat, Vanessa Kirby, in that classic Fantastic Four blue, which is very similar to the scrubbed 1994 version.
Oh yeah.
Which is incredible how time changes perspectives and makes things more adaptable. Do you have a favorite out of those two?
I mean, I really do like the
vibes
First
are different.
Steps one.
Yeah.
Like, they're so sick for
They're
the
just-
time, for the period.
Yeah. Clean.
The pop of the blue.
Yeah. Yeah.
So good.
It's just so great to me. Yeah. Hard same. So for powers and paraphernalia, Sue possesses the power of invisibility and light manipulation, a mental manipulation of ambient cosmic energy.
Whoa.
And so that allows her to manipulate electromagnetic spectrums, render objects transparent and or invisible, even by layer, as we just said with the Franklin thing. She also has blindness inducement, and she can render optic nerves and retinas invisible.
That sounds scary.
So she can basically look at you and be like, be blind.
Oh my God.
And you're blind.
Oh my God.
Because she's controlling that minute layer. And she has color manipulation of objects by manipulating light waves. So it's all about the manipulation. She's kind of like, are you familiar with Pepper's Ghost?
No, I don't
And
think
it's just
so.
like a manipulation of mirrors and angles and such.
Yes.
So she's kind of like that in that if the light hits her or she bends the light a certain way, she can make herself seem as if she is nowhere.
Yeah.
Which is where the whole ghost thing
Yeah,
comes
yeah,
from.
yeah.
Like
That's
she's
crazy.
still there, but you just can't see her. The naked eye cannot pick up her frequency or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And so she's also capable of psionic hyperspace force fields, which allow for shock waves, radar detection, internal damage. So she can induce physical stress in other people.
Good thing I do that to myself.
Amen, brother. As well as explosions from inside out.
That is haunting.
Very interesting manipulations. And so, again, she's really come from this place of like, she felt back in the day, what do I even do in a fight?
Yeah.
2, I can explode somebody from the inside out. I can make them blind. Making things as giant as Galactus.
Yeah.
Transparent. You know, she's come a long way. And it's noted that in the comics, Mr. Fantastic, quote unquote, theorizes that Sue Storm's powers are vibrational energy from the higher dimension of hyperspace, capital H hyperspace, which is the home of the Celestials. And so at one point, I think it's Nathaniel Richards. It's Kang, not Kang, but Nathaniel, who confirms that there's something in her powers that she's able to combat Celestials because of this connection that she has to their home planet or, you know, their dimension, whatever you want to call it. So, if you didn't think your girl was powerful,
Oh, she is.
She's very powerful. And then in live action, we see that she has artificially enhanced physiology that granted her invisible energy manipulation and invisibility. And so not only for herself, but others and other objects.
That's sick.
Yeah, as well as force field generation and telekinesis. A bit more simplified with only one major appearance under her belt so far, but essentially the same thing, many of which is from the comics that we saw in First Steps. Like the Franklin thing and being able to make more than just herself be invisible. So yeah, she's already gotten the power upgrade. So she's only going to get more powerful the next time we see her, which is like, girl, doomsday. What are you going to do?
Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows how crazy and how much her power is going to shine through even more.
Love it. Bring it. So for family, friends, and affiliations. First and foremost, very interesting parentage these kids have. So Franklin and Mary Storm were Johnny and Sue's mom and dad, or dad and mom in this case. And Franklin himself was a prestigious surgeon. And so the story goes that he and his wife were on their way to a dinner in which he was the guest of honor. And unfortunately, one of the tires blew out, caused a car accident. He was fine. She was severely rendered critical condition. And being that he was a surgeon, Franklin was like, I can fix it. I can make her better. And he operated on his wife until she died on the table. So unfortunately, despite his best efforts, still couldn't save her. This, however, had damning effects on him. And then Franklin developed a gambling addiction soon after, which led to loan sharks that are coming after him for the money.
It's always loan sharks,
man. And he's completely blown through all the money. And so they went from this pretty well-off family to a family of 3.
With nothing. Yeah.
And so when he failed to pay, said sharks went after him, and one of which involved an altercation that resulted in a gunfight. So they're fighting over this gun. Franklin is just trying to not get shot and doesn't want to pay at the same time. The gun goes off. The loan shark dies. Still traumatized from the loss of Mary, Franklin then refused to defend himself in court and was charged with manslaughter. Jeff's face right now is so wild. Yeah, and he's sent to prison.
Yikesies. That's not good.
Leaves the kids by themselves. This is the moment in which Sue begins to become the motherly figure we now know her as. And I put in my notes very quickly, they were raised by an aunt who has the craziest name in the world. Aunt Marygay Jewel Dinkins.
Marygay?
Marygay Jewel Dinkins.
Geez, okay.
I don't know. Marygay Jewel Dinkins.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. So they were raised by her for quite a while, but Sue was still the woman of the house, you know, and so that's where that whole connection comes from between she and Johnny, which is very prominent in live action in every which way. Which, in fact, we don't have the names of the parents in live action, but they're presumably Franklin and Mary, aside the 2015 version, of course. But in First Steps, yeah, we didn't really get a sense of... I feel like they mentioned the car accident at one point. Did they?
It was just when...
Did they mention it?
It was just when he was born. Like, what's his name?
Yeah.
Franklin.
Right.
And then that's Johnny and Sue looked at each other.
Yeah.
And it was like...
That's it.
Yeah, that was
interesting.
it.
Yeah,
I think. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I had some vague recollection that they mentioned that their mother died in a car accident at some point.
Maybe during her speech, she brought up her parents.
Maybe. Yeah. And so, but as far as anything else is concerned, as far as seeing them on screen, as far as I understand, Franklin was the only one portrayed in 2015 in the 2015 film Fantastic, and he was portrayed by Reg E. Cathy, and that was it. I don't think they've ever had any other actual screen time, like flashbacks or anything. And there isn't much to say about their parents otherwise. And it goes without saying, that's the father is obviously the namesake for Franklin, the newborn. And so they named him after her father, which is a nice little throwback. Which means also they didn't resent their dad too much. He obviously plays a bigger part in the comics. He comes through and his fake death and gets out of prison and then dies and then doesn't die. But there's a lot going on in the comics. Like we were talking about this before we even started recording. This is the plethora of different things that happen that they just don't translate to film as often because it obviously doesn't work.
Yeah.
So that brings us to Johnny Storm, Human Torch. So for all these characters, I went very, very light because, again, we're talking about each one of these guys in future episodes for themselves. So forgive us for not going deep into the nitty-gritty, but honestly, we don't have to, especially when there's going to be at least 6 hours of content just talking about Fantastic Four. And so as for Johnny, baby brother through and through, and although the exact gap between them hasn't been positively identified, some say it's around 5 years, which seems reasonable to me. And it goes without saying we will be discussing them again, so yeah, just tap back in and we're going to talk all about Johnny soon. But like any sibling, let alone an older one, Sue took every opportunity she could in the comics to nurture Johnny's growth, even making him their business manager at one point. So he takes on a very juvenile, immature, hotshot kind of persona, which fits him very well as a character in the comics. And I think they've pulled it together pretty well represented in the films, especially their dynamic. And so in live action, he was first portrayed by Jay Underwood in the unreleased 1994 film, who was indeed one of the plant workers in First Steps. Then he was portrayed by the Chris Evans.
Oh, yeah.
In the Fox films, as well as Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yep.
And then he was portrayed by Michael B. Jordan in the 2015 film. And most recently by Joseph Quinn in Fantastic Four First Steps. Favorite Johnny?
I think Chris, for sure.
Really?
Yeah. Definitely. He was definitely like, especially during that time, that's a Chris Evans time of, he's super, I mean, I still think he is now, but like during that time, he was so charismatic. Yeah. Such like a, just handsome looking feller. Yeah. Like it's the Chris Evans that did Not Another Teen Movie.
Yep.
Yep. But I love how they portrayed Johnny with Joseph Quinn. Yeah. Because if you were to watch the first movie, like with like Ian McGruffin and all of them, like you would think like, I mean, maybe I would have to rewatch it, but from what I remember, it's like you would think that it's just Reed and Sue, or maybe Reed and Ben, that's the smart ones, quote unquote. At least in like whatever you see clipped and everything from that movie, you would think that like only 2 or 3 of them are like the smart scientists, whatever. Yeah. But in First Steps, you're immediately like taken like, oh, they're all smart. Yeah. Like they are all scientists. They are all capable of figuring out solutions. Yeah. And I love that. That was the biggest thing that clicked for me. Yeah. Like when Johnny figured out Shalaball's language, I was like, oh yeah, he's smart as hell. 100%. I was like, yeah, they're supposed to be smart. Yeah. So figuring out the language, him like guiding her through the city to like show her like, oh, I know what happened to you. Yeah. And I was like, wow. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He's not just
a womanizer.
Yeah. Which as much as I love as much as I love Chris Evans for that, they really did harp on that. That's what they made him about. And they were also playing, like again in the rewatch, I was like, oh yeah, they're actually playing on his confidence and self-worth a lot. Because there is a moment where Sue is like, they don't even like you, Johnny. Like they're just here because you're Human Torch.
You're handsome.
Sure.
That too.
They're same thing. And you can see him almost collapse under that reality. And he's like, He's like, how about this? You live your life and I live mine. And then he just walks away. And he goes, by the way, they love me. And then he walks out. And Sue's just like, whatever, loser. And so it is interesting how he has this sort of like ego about him in the Fox films. And then you have this jump where Joseph Quinn has like swag. Like it's not the same hot energy.
Yes.
Like, because personally speaking, for instance, Chris Evans is a beautiful man.
Yeah.
But Joseph Quinn, for me, he is a particular taste. Mm-hmm. I think he's an attractive man. I don't find him attractive. Mm-hmm. But the swag that he brought to Johnny, I was like, I believe it.
Yep.
Like, I believe that energy. He's got it, and he knows how to use it.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah, and so that's what kind of that's what puts me into like, I don't know which one I like more. Because I do love Chris Evans' version. I believed he was a hotshot, but Joseph Quinn's is just also so smart and so witty.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. But I will say, even though I can't pick a favorite, both of them have the same dynamic with Ben.
Yes.
100%. Which is so
Easily.
funny. Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. But I will say also, in addition to that, when it comes to Sue, I feel like Kirby and Quinn have the connection.
100%.
Jessica and Chris were kind of like,
yeah,
I feel it, but I believe those other two are actual siblings. Poor Michael B. Jordan. Fan Four Stick. Oh my God. I didn't mean for this to be like a Fan Four Stick, like, rant, but his was also very interesting. As good of a character actor Michael B. Jordan is, and as good as an amazing actor he is, and as attractive as Michael B. Jordan is, there, to me, in that film, is no Johnny Storm. He is not Johnny. He is some other character, but not Johnny Storm. And worth clarifying, in their movie, he's indeed the baby brother, but Sue is adopted. So,
yes.
Yeah, she's an adopted older sister. And their dynamic was obviously so different because the dad kind of like played favorites with Sue because she was more leaning into his scientific endeavors than Johnny was. Uh-huh. Which you'll get to see. and so Johnny almost resents Sue in that film for being the favorite and for being the smart one.
Yeah.
Which is very different from the other dynamics and the other duos. So yeah. And once again, that movie doesn't get my favoritism in any of these cases. But they pretty much otherwise, Johnny and Sue, they take on this very routine set of roles in the film, and and it makes for good movies. You know what I forgot about the first film is that Maria Menounos was in it.
The very first one?
The first one, yeah, the first Fantastic Four, and she plays like the hot nurse that he's.
Oh my God, the snowboarding thing.
That was Maria Menounos.
Oh wow.
And I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
She was 27 when she filmed that.
Crazy.
I was like, that movie's 20 years old. She's 47 years old.
Yeah, it's 20 years ago.
Yeah. I had to. I was looking up everybody's ages when I was
it's crazy.
watching it. I was like, this is nuts because they all look very good for their ages. But yeah, I thought that was really funny. And it's comical. Then there is Benjamin Grimm, The Thing. And so, from the comics, the dynamic is pretty spot on from what we know about it. But again, like I mentioned earlier, Ben is a lot more rough around the edges. No pun intended. He's much more of a gruff man. And because of the time frame of some of these comics, he treated Sue in a certain way that was almost like, hush, girl, the men are talking.
Yeesh.
Yeah, and so obviously it changes as time evolves, but he is that guy in the group.
Got it.
Because you have the supportive brother, you have the loving fiance, and then you need somebody who's going to be like the against the grainer, and it was Ben, unfortunately, in a lot of scenarios. But it eventually evolved into this scenario where Ben is practically the older brother to Sue in a lot of ways, or just a straight up true confidant that helps balance the dynamic with Reed. Because, you know, the thing about the Fantastic Four is that each relationship integrates into the other.
Okay.
So Johnny and Reed have their dynamic, and Ben and Sue, and then Ben and Reed, and Ben and Johnny and Sue. They all have this intersection with one another. And so every relationship helps the next. And so in times with Reed that were particularly difficult, and Johnny didn't have the emotional maturity to help her deal with it, Ben was there.
God.
So that's kind of like what happens to them eventually, thankfully. But they don't have, I feel, personally speaking, I feel like their dynamic is not as deeply rooted as Ben and Reed's is, which we'll eventually talk about when we get to their character studies. Mm-hmm. But as far as live action goes, Benjamin Grimm, portrayed by Michael Bailey Smith in the unreleased film, was also one of the plant workers that Johnny rescued in First Steps. I love that they gave them all a cameo.
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't have to. And it was so
to.
great. Like, they finally got their Fantastic Four moment. And then he was portrayed by Michael Chiklis in the Fox films. I gotta say, that man deserves every award for wearing that suit.
Yeah.
'Cause,
I agree.
wow.
It's a good looking suit.
Yeah, it was incredible. I was just like, where in the heck did they have zippers? And
I know. How long does it take to get in and get out of it?
Yeah, I remember reading stuff about it before, because it was early internets, right?
Yeah, 100%.
And so I think he had an ungodly call time, though, and it was like a 14-hour thing.
Yeah.
Easily. And then he was portrayed by Jamie Bell in the 2015 film where Ben didn't have any shorts on. So he's just naked, running around naked in the entire film.
A naked thing.
Yeah, it was very interesting. And most recently by Eben Moss Backrack in Fantastic Four First Steps. Favorite Ben?
Michael Chiklis is really good.
Yeah, he's
so
really,
good.
really, really good.
But I really do love Eben, always because of the bear. I think his portrayal is also very unique.
Yeah.
Like what Michael Chiklis did is amazing.
Yeah.
But I do like how different Eben's is. Mm-hmm. But they're both great.
They're
honestly.
both great. Yeah, I have a pretty hard time, I think, thinking about the two of them as well. Because, and also Michael Chiklis had so much more screen time as regular Ben.
Yes.
You got to sit with him a little more and really get to understand who he was as a person.
Yeah, and then also like his relationship with Kerry Washington.
Alicia.
So it's like you got to see that kind of flesh out. That was really cool.
That's the character that I thought that Natasha was playing. Yeah, I thought she was playing her at first, but sad, no. But yeah, great love of his life in the comics. And so I hope we get to see that eventually. But as far as visually, no contest. Eben's is incredible. Like, incredible. And also just what I appreciated also is the way you can hear the grains of the rocks when he does anything.
Yeah.
I thought that was just really cool. But yeah, it's interesting because I feel like you kind of get the warmth of them knowing each other in the first film, in the Fox film. Because he calls her Susie. Immediately, he calls her Susie. He doesn't call her Susan. He doesn't call her Sue. He calls her Susie. Yeah. And you obviously know that, like, you get very quickly, oh, he's the wingman between Reed and Sue. 100%. Yep. He's constantly keeping Reed on track and being like, go get her. Like, what are you doing?
Hurry up.
Yeah. Figure it out. And then Eben, on the other hand, you're very deeply rooted in the understanding that they have had a friendship for God knows how long. Yeah. And he is very much, no pun intended again, a rock in their life. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you don't have to see it. That's kind of what pushes me over the edge for First Steps, is that you don't have to see it to know that the dynamic is there, to know that the chemistry is there. Yeah. So I really love Eben's version, but marginally more than Michael Chiklis. Yes. Yeah, because he was great. He was really great. And so, yeah, save for the 2015 film, he's usually represented in a fun and engaging way on screen. And Eben brings a new layer to the character. And again, it feels like we've spent a lot of time with him, even though we barely... It's the first film. And we're thrown into it. Yep. But as a rule, Ben, again, experienced this shattering altercation to his physical matter. And I think that's one thing that I wish they kind of did more in First Steps. They weigh heavy on it in the Fox film, the first Fox film, where he's really just like, I need to change back. You know what I mean?
I need to.
Yeah, and then he's not as focused on it in First Steps, but anyway, that brings us to a little guy named Franklin Richards.
Ha! Only the most powerful person.
Yeah, I tried to keep this very short because I'm just like, there's just no way. We're going to talk about Franklin on his own accord. So,
yeah.
Funny enough, we did discuss a little bit of Franklin back in episode 94 of the show when we discussed the origin of Agatha Harkness, because lest we forget, in the comics, old Aggie was Franklin's nanny.
Yes.
In the comics, her first introduction entirely is just the Fantastic Four trying to find the baby. And we're introduced to the witch herself. But as we very briefly mentioned before, Franklin is a force to be reckoned as one of the universe's most powerful beings, and he's capable of warping reality itself.
So insane.
Yeah, just with a mere thought. Just can change things. And surprise, we can clearly talk about Franklin when he eventually comes to his own in the MCU, which he undoubtedly will at this point. So we'll hold on the rest for now. But just like in the film, Franklin is indeed destined to become the next devourer of worlds when it comes to the comics. Oh my God. And then as for live action, he's portrayed by Ada Scott in First Steps, and an uncredited child in the mid-credit scene. So I scoured the internet for this child's name. Nothing comes up, only the baby.
Wow.
Yeah, so I was like,
I wonder who's going to play him when he turns into a preteen, teen.
Yeah.
Like,
very curious. But as for Ada, oh my gosh, first and foremost, sweet baby angel, oh my God. What a beautiful baby.
Just an actor.
Oh
what an
God.
actor of a baby.
Yeah, I am still... And the fact that people didn't believe there was a real baby says everything. Because people were flipping out. Like those BTS pictures that they were dropping a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
People were like, oh my God, the baby was real. It's like, yes, the baby was real. What are you talking about?
It's just really difficult to work with kids, let alone babies on a set. So
Exactly. And yeah, she wasn't a twin, so they had backup babies that were similar to her for the whole rule that you can't have them working too long. But Ada was the primary Franklin on screen, and she was just the sweetest little thing. I read somewhere that they were like, they knew immediately when they screen tested her because her eyes were so expressive.
Okay.
And I mean,
I see. I get it.
Yeah, every time you see that baby on
You're like, oh yeah.
She's got thoughts. Especially that last scene. The last scene with the car seat and the look on her face.
Yeah, with Vanessa. Yeah. So good.
It kills me. I was like, oh my God, this child is so cute. But yeah, I mean, what can be said about Franklin as a character? Little does the average Joe know what this baby is going to do.
Crazy,
as
man.
A powerful beacon in the MCU.
Yeah, when I looked up the lore, I said it during the
Fantastic
the recap.
Yeah,
but I was like, this kid is literally the being.
Yeah,
you know. Who knows?
Yeah, it's gonna be so insane. And I mean, yeah, as if you needed more proof, he brought Sue back to life.
Crazy.
One of many things he's gonna do.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah, at what, 3 months old? 6 months
Barely.
old? Yeah,
less than a year. That's for sure.
It's definitely less than a year. Yeah, it's incredible. And as we saw in the mid-credit scene, Franklin is about 4.5 years old when he's approached by Dr. Doom in the comfort of the Baxter building. So, it is interesting because there is a bit of familiarity in the body language of like he knows this person. And yeah, if you miss it, if you don't pay attention, Victor very much has his mask off. So there's no telling what he looks like in the MCU under that mask. Yep. But I guess we'll find out sooner or later. At least we'll find out by December 2026.
Yep.
Which brings us to a similar named character that you're not very familiar with, Jeff, but I had to add her here because family. There is Valeria Richards, a.k.a. Valeria Von Doom. And so she is the daughter of Sue and Reed and the goddaughter of Victor Von Doom in this reality.
Whoa.
However, her origin is complicated in its own right. Not only does she come from the future, but an alternate future where Sue became Baroness Von Doom to Dr. Doom. So she married Victor.
My goodness.
So in short, it's revealed that Valeria was in fact the daughter of Reed and Sue in 616, but she miscarried.
Eesh.
And then when Franklin found out, he sent the baby that was to be to another dimension.
Oh my God.
Where she was raised by Sue so that one of them could at least have the daughter. And so there's this whole scenario where Reed presumably died and Sue fell for Victor, if you will.
Yeah.
And that's why Valeria was raised by Victor and Sue instead. And they named her Valeria because it was Doom's insistence, because he wanted to pay homage to his first love. So
Wow.
it's a mixed bag of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, a testament to Franklin's power. So miscarried baby? Nope, she's alive in another dimension.
I'm so curious.
Yeah,
how,
and then she time jumps and she dimension jumps. So she comes to 616, and now she's in 616, and they have both children here.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so I think it's a little too convoluted for them to bring into MCU, but
okay.
yeah, I mean, maybe they'll figure out something more simple and just have her as a natural child, but we'll see. And, unlike Franklin, she doesn't have notable powers, aside that she's super, super intelligent. And she boasts that she's smarter than her dad. So that's subjective. And yeah, no MCU counterpart just yet. Whether or not she'll have one, we'll see. And that brings us to love interests. Oh, man. So I had to add this first one. Oh, I couldn't go without it. Namor, or Namor.
Oof.
The Submariner in the comics. Oh, boy. If you love a problematic king.
This guy sucks.
This is him. Yeah, he's kind of awful. Even as far back as issue 4 of Fantastic Four. So again, November, December, January, February, March 1962. Namor has been nothing but a nuisance in the romantic lives of Reed and Sue. And so if there's a romantic trope, including a villainous persona, Namor has done it. He's done all of it. So threatened to destroy the world unless she came with him, he did it.
Jesus.
Kidnapping her before Reed could propose, he did it.
Damn.
Attempted to destroy the team so she'd have no one else to turn to, he did it. He's such a jerk. And what's worse, and this makes for good reading, obviously, and it sells books. Sue has even admitted her attraction to Namor. Initially physical, but then it started to unravel that she was attracted to the royal highness of him. She was like, oh, he's a king. He's established.
Yeah.
He is power, which is interesting for Sue, but it is very different from what she's used to. And so this feeling for Namor often peaks when she's neglected by Reed. Surprise! So if he's all knee deep in his work, eyeball deep in his work,
Yeah.
she's like, Namor's starting to look good. Maybe go. But she never. She absolutely refuted the fact that he suggested, oh, we had a special relationship. He was implying that they have done things, and she's like, oh, no, I've never touched you.
Yeah.
She has kissed him a couple of times, but we're not going to talk about that. Yeah, and so despite all this confrontation and intersectionality with Namor, she has remained locked down for Reed.
Hell yeah.
And they have gone through so much. Like, I thought Jean and Scott have been through a lot. Not that they haven't. They definitely have. But Reed and Sue have, like, comparable craziness.
I can imagine.
Yeah. And although I believe the alternate versions of her have, yeah. But main Sue is good. She's behaved. That brings us to Namor in live action, portrayed by Tenoch Huerta Mejia. First and last seen in 2022's Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. And so while these two haven't yet officially crossed over, it seems it's imminent. Tenoch was reported saying how lovely of a co-star Vanessa Kirby is. So doomsday.
I believe it.
Yeah.
I believe there's some interaction. I believe that maybe either they visit somewhere or he's for some reason somewhere they go to them.
Yeah.
How I would imagine it plays out is Sue like looks him up and down, is like whoa, is enamored.
Awful.
Enamored.
Enamored.
And then like she looks at him like in like this kind of like flirty way.
Yeah.
Reed notices and he's like,
What's
what was
happening
that?
here? Yeah.
What was that?
Oh my God. I know. It's that simple. It really is that simple.
Yeah, and maybe and that's like how it just that's if that's all it is, then cool. Then it's like you're playing, you're nodding to like a comic relationship, and it's like, all right, cool. What was that?
Exactly. Oh, I can't wait to see it. I don't know if you saw this, but Joe Liz sent me this video of Tenoch on a talk show or of some sort, and someone asked him a question dressed as Reed Richards, and it's in Spanish, so I can't understand, and there's no subtitles. But they were essentially alluding to like, so why hasn't Sue called you back? Like in character, and he's like, what the hell is happening?
What's going on here?
Yeah, it's so funny. I'll send it to you after the show.
So
yeah, it's pretty comical.
Yeah.
Yeah, so can't wait. And it's obviously got the internet buzzing because people have mentioned this on social already.
Yeah.
Can't wait for it.
So good.
And then, of course, that brings us to the man of the hour, Reed Richards.
Uh-huh.
The most intelligent man in the Marvel Universe, unless you ask his daughter. And so, of course, Marvel loves a good love story. And it took a little time before Reed and Sue's official marriage took off, especially considering they were seemingly engaged in the first issue of Fantastic Four. And so it is very interesting because I found that there was some inconsistency, and they probably explained this somewhere. I just haven't read it yet. But she literally calls herself her fiancé in issue number 1. But it isn't until issues 33, 35, and 36, released in 1965, that the couple goes public with their engagement. So it's interesting because it almost feels like he proposed to her then. He brings her to this tree that he used to like visit in college, and they there's something about like every couple that visits this tree gets married in a year. And she's like, oh, Reed, does that mean? And so it felt like he's proposing again. But by those issues, they go full public and they tell everybody and they tell the news, and they finally tie the knot in Fantastic Four Annual number 3, released that same year. And naturally, it was a mess because every superhero and every supervillain showed up.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's insane. It's one of those classic issues. It's right up there with Mary Jane and Peter Parker. But despite these two being the poster pair of love for the Marvel Universe, they've had an incredible amount of problems along the way. Not only from outer forces, but between one another as well. Because, again, as we saw in First Steps, Reed is often working too much. He's wrought with overthought. And indeed, sometimes forfeiting what might be morally right in favor of doing what he considers the greater good. So they nailed that scene.
Loved it.
They nailed it. Yeah, and like again, I think I said this in our mini. I was like, the tension was so palpable and the deliveries were so good. I felt like I was gonna cry because it hurt. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, she's hurt.
Yeah, and I was like, Reed,
Yeah.
you idiot! Like what? The
Yeah. What did she say? Because being you hurts me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and nailed it. So that's the exact
Yeah.
relationship. This is the exact reason why she turns to Namor in the comics, you know, and why she develops other issues in her own self-confidence and her own consciousness. And it's all because Reed just can't turn his brain off, which is very true to form. And so as for Reed, first portrayed by Alex Hyde White in the unreleased 1994 film, also had a cameo in First Steps as an ABC newscaster. So we see him on the TV or something. I remember them all distinctly. I didn't know them all at the time, but now that I know where they are, I'm like, oh yeah. So they're prominent. They're basically every bit part actor in that film, which is so great. And then he was portrayed by Ioan Gruffudd in the Fox films. Then Miles Teller in Fan Four Stick. Ay, 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 ay. And then most recently by Pedro Pascal in First Steps.
Oh yeah.
Favorite read? Oh, how could I forget? Oh my God. The one that everybody wants back from Doctor Strange.
Yeah,
Multiverse of Madness.
Yes.
Our boy.
John Krasinski.
John Krasinski.
I feel like he could play also a good one too, like if it was a full length.
Well, he was everybody's fan cast, including mine. I wasn't into it until I really started to think about it. I was like, yeah, actually, he'd be great.
He is.
And so
I think Pedro
killed it.
It's kind of like all encompassing.
Yeah.
Like you said, like that scene of where he can't turn being the smartest man in the world or in the universe off.
Yeah.
Like it's like, dude, like you're having a baby, like just relax.
Yeah.
You know? He's like, no, but I have to figure out every bad possible thing. And it's like, geez. Okay.
And I think we mentioned this in our mini is that there's something to Pedro that you really, and all of them, this goes for all of them in First Steps.
Yeah.
You really believe that he is this man that has to compartmentalize everything in his life.
Yeah.
That he cannot deal with certain things. He has to figure out everything twice over, every permutation, every iteration, every possible variation.
Yeah.
That it stifles him. Ironically stifles him and his growth. And that obviously, I mean, it goes without saying, all their powers represent something that they are either lacking or overcompensating or overtaken by in themselves. So Reed stretches because he stretches himself too thin. It's representational of who he is. And so it is very interesting that although Ioan Gruffudd's is very visually like spot on.
Yeah.
Looks just like the character, like from his features to the gray hair. And they actually showed his powers much more than they did Pedro's in First Steps. But there's just, again, something to the persona. And when he speaks as Reed Richards that you're just like, oh yeah, that is the smartest man in the universe. So he definitely wins hands down for me. And then I would pick Ioan and then Krasinski, and then, Miles Teller, I guess.
Sure.
He's at the bottom of the tier, but yeah, he is just too good. And again, say for the 2015 film, pretty consistent across the board when it comes to the overall sentiment of who the Fantastic Four even are, especially when it comes to Reed and Sue's dynamic. Like we just said, the fight, oh my lordy. And yeah, in short, he's just a hot nerd that Sue is wildly attracted to. But again, the way that Vanessa and Pedro, their chemistry is ridiculous.
Insane.
Even in the interviews, I'm like, stop.
I know.
What are you guys doing?
I feel like I'm intruding here.
I know. Exactly. That's when you know it's good. Oh, they're so great together. I love them. And so notable adversaries, holy moly. So we're going to be talking about a lot of these along the way. And so I've just put in the ones that we see in the films, at least for Sue and this character study. So first up, Harvey Elder, a.k.a. Mole Man.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, if we can get Mole Man, we can get
Stilt Man.
Stilt Man.
Oh, I'm sure he's on the way.
Yeah, Pace Pot Pete. I'm waiting for it. God,
Easy.
they better be in Spider-Man. So aside being a classic recurring villain in the Fantastic Four's Rogues Gallery, Sue and Harvey don't have a deeply rooted connection, but he has tried to kidnap her and the family so many times. That's like the dynamic. He is the I'll get you this time, Fantastic Four. You know, like that's him.
Dude, I love that transatlantic stuff. Oh, it's so good.
Oh my God. It started seeping into my like natural voice. I I started doing it last week for no reason.
The Fantastic
Four
have arrived back here in New York City.
Yeah, and so like you see in number 1, he makes his debut along with them in that issue, which only made the issue worth more money, obviously. But you know, he's ultimately defeated by them in their debut issue. So it's their first rodeo. He got defeated. That needs to tell you something about how powerful Mole Man is.
Yeah,
because they just completely mowed him down on their first run, But this primed him to be one of their greatest adversaries. So, you know, it's interesting because you would think, oh, maybe he's probably top 10, but he actually narrowly misses the top 10 list. He's probably more of an 11, 12 on their top villains, if only because he debuted with them and he's recurring as hell. So he comes back a lot. He's always trying to get them to Subterranea. He's always trying to have Subterranea take over, la, 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 la.
Yeah.
But there's no deep connection with Susan Storm in the comics. Whereas in live action, we have Harvey Elder, Mole Man, portrayed by Paul Walter Hauser in First Steps. Mr. 3.5 on Letterboxd.
Funny. That's funny.
Oh, man. But yeah, a vague but significantly more prominent connection in the film. So, as Paul has stated, a scene that provided far more exposition regarding his kindness towards Sue was ultimately cut from the film. So he gave it a 3.5 on Letterboxd. That's iconic. That's seriously, I think
honest.
it's hilarious. Yeah, he's honest. At least he's honest.
Honest man.
Yep. But even without the scene, we definitely got the idea that something had happened between the two that led Harvey to trust her so much that he allowed her to move all of New York to Subterranea. So you gotta wonder.
Yeah, like what's that relationship?
What did she do? Yeah, like what did she come through with for him?
Yeah.
That he was like, okay, I'll let them all come down.
Yeah. I guess
Susan. Yeah, Susan. And again, she regarded him by his first name. So that also says a lot. But yeah, will we get answers? Will we see it in digital and home release? I don't know, maybe. I hope so. I don't want to have to buy it to get to see it, but I'm sure that, well, I hope they release it. I'd like to see that scene.
I know.
Yeah. That brings us to Silver Surfer. Either Norrin Rad or Shalabal, depending on which one you'd like to talk about. But as far as the comics go, notably for both surfers, there's no direct correlation for either of them with only Sue. It's the Fantastic Four. They always operate as a group. It's not only because of one person, at least most of the time. And so it's always generalized to the entire team. So we're not going to get into the Silver Surfer stuff right here. And also, we have so much room to talk about both of them in their own right. So we're going to leave that for now. Whereas in live action, Silver Surfer, Norrin Rad, portrayed by Doug Jones in the Fantastic Four Fox films, and then Julia Garner in First Steps as Shalabal. And so, again, that is one of the most glorious payoffs for the misogynistic social media users.
So she's so great.
Oh, they turned Silver Surfer to a girl. No, there's a girl one too.
She's so great.
There's more than one Herald. Which, by the way, at one point, even Johnny was a Herald for Galactus. So relax. The story isn't the same as far as the dynamics go in live action. So, like you mentioned, in Rise of the Silver Surfer, Sue, I need to remember why, but she had a much more prominent role, and it stuck with Norrin Rad in that film. They built this little connection because she reminded him of somebody.
Yes.
And so it was enough to kind of make him flip sides eventually, with Cloud Galactus. But in First Steps, very similarly, Johnny and Shalabal, in that he was so persistent with her and she saw something in him that she spoke to him.
Yep.
Kind of let him in.
A little
Interestingly
bit.
enough.
You let Johnny in just a little bit. He'll take it.
He'll take it, yeah. Which is very, very interesting dynamics, I think, in both ends of the spectrum. But yeah, Shalabal and Sue in particular, they obviously butt heads in the film. But again, there's no direct line between either Surfer and Susan Storm that is like, this is the why. They're just existing in the same space. So yeah, no real connections. Aside, obviously that little small detail that Sue is trying to save the world.
Yeah.
So that might be it. But otherwise, nothing too deep. Which, related, brings us to Galactus. Once again, Galactus, Devourer of Worlds.
So good.
So he has a very interesting backstory. Again, same story that we're not going to go too deep into for this episode. But before he was known as Galactus, he was known as Galen of Ta in a previous iteration of the universe as we now know it. So at some point, when he became the Devourer, his name changed to probably, ate a few planets and he became Galactus.
Galanta, Galactus. Close.
Galanta. Yeah, I know. I was
close.
Like, it's almost there. Yeah, the planet was Ta. And so he was a Taian, I think they called them. And so, no deep dive here. But the same thing goes for Galactus and Sue as the Surfers and Sue. They're intrinsically connected because of the Fantastic Four. And they have crossed paths on numerous occasions. But yeah, like I just mentioned, one of the most threatening was when Johnny became Herald of Galactus for a hot second. And he had Sue's powers, by the way. Crazy. It was so weird. And then, of course, Franklin Richards is the beacon of the connection between them in many ways. But aside that, again, not directly for Sue. It's for the baby. Which is not unlike in the films where he's portrayed by Ralph Ineson and First and Last Scene, 2025's First Steps. So this is the first true iteration of Galactus. I was like, should I even bother looking up if there was an actor for Rise of Silver Surfer?
No, when you hear his voice, you're like, yep, no, that was him.
Yeah, exactly. So, very interesting that he went from being a cloud to an actual comic accurate to the Kirby Crackle being in First Steps. And we got our ultimate payoff in Fantastic Four First Steps in every way because, it was true to art version of Galactus. Again, right down to the Franklin Richards thing. So they definitely obviously had this connection in First Steps because she's protecting her baby and going mama bear on him.
Yep.
But again, it wasn't directly because of Sue herself. It was for the child, which I guess is a complicated topic. Because it's like, obviously the mother is just as important. But he did induce her
Yeesh.
to have the baby, which is
Yeesh.
so crazy. I still wrap my head around that entire film. It's just crazy. But yeah. They don't have a direct correlation. It's always Fantastic Four, always as a unit, which is interesting because, fun fact, in some storylines, if they are apart for too long, and say one is in a different dimension, they're time traveling, whatever, their powers start to diminish. So they have to be together. But it's in a bad way. You know what I mean? It's not,
okay, I get that.
They don't just magically get better and Ben is not the thing.
Yeah.
They're so connected that
They have to
be together.
kind of stay together.
Yeah. And the same goes for all these relationships. They have to be together. It's not always one or the other. Save for one person, I would say, who is the next topic, and that is Dr. Doom, Victor Von Doom. And so, as great of an adversary Galactus is, he still doesn't hold a candle to their number one, which is Victor. And as you can imagine, Doom is essentially the Green Goblin to the Fantastic Four's Spider-Man. So it is that level of intensity, is that level of back and forth.
Love it.
Recurring and all the good things. In every incarnation imaginable, for the record. So in Ultimate, same thing. Every arc, it always comes back to Doom somehow. And sometimes he helps. Sometimes they're on the same side and doing that thing. But again, it's like what
is Doom's? I mean, obviously we'll talk about this at some point. But what is his main motivation? Is it just to be the most powerful person, being?
Yeah. Well, and also he and Reed combat for the intelligence thing too. So that's pretty. Shockingly enough, that's the one fact about 2015 Fanforstic that stood out, is that they are head to head. It is about the brain. Yeah. And they're both competing with each other for that. And I don't know that that's the only thing that Doom is about, but it is certainly about conquering, but not the Kang way.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah, exactly. I know. I'm going to dive deeper into him, and I'm probably going to read more comics than I even realize at the moment, but we will definitely dive into him a bit more as we go along. And as for he and Sue's specific dynamic, the most notable measure is that alternate universe scenario with Valeria. So that is very much the one big one that really ties them together. Otherwise, it's, again, periphery of Fantastic Four shenanigans. Whereas in live action, he was portrayed first by the late Julian McMahon in the original Fox films. Then Toby Kebbell in Four Stick. Oh, I can't wait for you to see that version of Dr. Doom. No. And they're all young, mind you. They're all young. Yeah. It's basically a teen version of all of them.
Good lordy.
Yeah, it's very interesting. And most recently, to be Robert Downey Jr. in Avengers Doomsday, also cameoed in First Steps. Woo! Yeah, so, he in live action, at least in my perception, he's presented as far more of a threat of romantic sorts in the Fox live action films, because that homie was trying to put a ring on it. Oh, 100%. Literally.
Oh, yeah. He's so like, we gotta get married before Victor comes.
Yeah. What I thought was funny was, speaking of again, Jessica Alba was just so funny as Sue, because just Victor. And she's trying to propose to her, and she's like, no. They tried to add that trope of, it's a love triangle between two of the most intelligent men in the planet.
And
then poor Sue is caught in the middle. So that kept the momentum going for the inevitable wedding that happens in the second film. Sure. But in Four Stick, nothing distinctly happened between he and Sue, but they were familiar with each other because of her father's work. So the father in the film, Franklin in that film, is so much the glue that holds the cast together. Yeah. That it's just it's almost weird. Because it's they're so... you get it. It's such an interesting dynamic, but they only had that in common. Whereas in First Steps, he's only in that cameo. So mysterious threat. Is he a friend? Is he a foe at this point?
I mean, definitely not a fan of the Fantastic Four, because he wasn't even at the UN meeting.
He wasn't at the.
He was the only country.
Latveria.
Yeah, that was not at that UN meeting but the whole world is Team Susan Storm.
Team Susan Storm. Yeah, exactly. Even
she banded the world together.
Yeah. Globally. Global connection, except for Latveria, which is hey.
What a great little nugget.
He was busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So eventually he comes back 4 years later, so we'll see why he has returned.
Oh, yeah.
Again, in December 2026.
All right.
Yeah. So not quite as much to talk about Dr. Doom just yet, at least for Susan. But we have a lot of episodes coming in. So just hang in there. As for other versions and in other media, there was one thing I wanted to talk about, and that is your girl, Miss Disappear.
She's my main.
Yeah.
I think she's my most time played as a character.
Yeah, I believe it. And so we would be remiss to not at least mention the Sue Storm in Marvel Rivals, who serves as a strategist in the game, where she's portrayed by seasoned anime voice actress Susie Young. And so this actually goes hand in hand with Sue lore, as players were introduced to Malice. The thirst trap skin. A character that came about shortly after Sue's miscarriage.
That's such a dark backstory.
Yeah,
Good
and
Lordy.
a minor possession by a symbiote. So not only did she
That's
lose the
crazy.
baby, she got possessed by a symbiote, which, and so I had the first appearance, second appearance, I think, of Malice from the comics.
Oh my God.
So it is very she real, and then there's Daredevil,
Yeah.
and then there's She-Hulk. They make cameos
God.
as well.
I mean, that outfit's not even as revealing as like the.
The Marvel Rivals one
Rival
is
skin.
insane, and it's because I think they took away the little, like they just gave her a bikini or the boots.
It's just a lot of skin.
There's a lot of butt.
It's red, a lot of butt.
Yeah, and so
A headpiece,
and the
eyepiece.
headpiece, yeah, and so. You mean this one?
That's kind of.
It's actually kind of.
No.
Yeah, now you see it.
That's the one.
She's got the
Yes.
spike head thing going on. And so there is this villain by the name of Psycho Man.
Jeez.
Yeah, he's in the top 20 Fantastic Four villains, for the record, because of this act alone. And so he was able to manipulate Sue's fragile psyche at the time. Obviously, miscarriage, symbiote. And that inevitably led her to embracing this other side of herself, which she called Malice.
Yeah.
And so all of Sue's fantastic powers, but zero restraint. So she didn't have boundaries, which, represents the clothing. Yeah. And so, especially during this time in the world, and what that represented for her.
Yeah.
And so it fostered this evil side of her. So it's almost like an alter ego of sorts. And so she eventually overcame this evil version of herself. And that would be the exact moment that she changes her name from Invisible Girl to Invisible Woman, because she finally came into her own. Yeah.
Love that.
All because of Malice.
Crazy.
Which is why I'm like, okay, so it's not necessarily just the thirst trap skin.
Yeah, it's dark.
There's actually a lot of
dark.
lore for it. Yeah. We certainly could have gone further into it, but it spans about 4 issues in her traditional arc. And yeah, it's all tied, and it is the Valeria baby and how that all ties in together. It's wild. And this is one of her very rare moments of like getting the spotlight and having a meaty like storyline, is the Malice storyline.
Yeah.
So the fact that it's made it into a video game,
Crazy.
so crazy. Yeah, it's so wild. But yeah, so that's how her name came about. It was all because of the Malice persona. And so as for Almost Was, oh my lordy, this was an interesting journey for me.
Especially movies during that time. There's always a list.
Oh yeah. So Elizabeth Banks was eyed for the role before Jessica Alba got casted, and that seems to be a catapult from her days in Raimi's Spider-Man films, where she portrayed Betty Brant.
Yes.
So again, the timing is right there. Kate Bosworth, Scarlett Johansson, Ali Larder, Rachel McAdams, and Julia Stiles were all also in the running, along with Elizabeth. And as we know, Scarlett and Rachel landed in the MCU eventually.
Yes.
Interestingly enough,
That is crazy.
Julia Stiles was my choice back in the day. Yeah. And I don't remember, because, we've talked about this before, and that there used to be that Wizard magazine.
Yeah.
And they would always do fan castings of the celebrities and stuff. And I think she was in one of them before Fantastic Four got made. And I was like, yeah.
You think?
Yeah. But in retrospect,
Yeah, I don't think
No,
so.
no,
Because I think because she did before that Save the Last Dance.
Yep. 10 Things I
and
Hate
then she
About You.
did Born.
Yeah. She's got that thing about her where she's got the deeper voice. She can hold herself well.
Yeah.
But I think she would be missing a lot of the wholesomeness that you like about Sue. That makes Sue Sue.
Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so at the time I was like, yeah, I like her. And then now I'm like, no.
Yeah, I don't know.
No. And then evidently both Emma Stone and Margot Robbie were offered the role as recent as 2020. Likely early versions of what would eventually become First Steps.
Yeah.
But it's rumored that Emma asked for too much money and then Margot had other projects happening. So Barbie and such. And so Emma, she must have been like, okay, I'll do it. But, you have to like give me like $10 million. And they were like, ugh.
I don't know if I could see her as it though.
No.
Not at all.
No.
Like even just like Margot, maybe.
Margot.
Maybe.
I see a lot of fan
but
casts
Emma,
for Margot.
I don't see it.
No. Especially after Gwen Stacy.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she has her own version of wholesome and lovable, but it's not the Sue Storm.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And she's a great actress, but
Yeah.
she also has her own
Yes.
like method of
Yeah.
acting.
It's
Wouldn't-
great.
wouldn't fit.
Yeah. I think it's great that Vanessa
got it.
Yes.
No, bless. Now she's going to be in a movie with Sebastian Stan. Isn't that crazy?
That's right. Yes.
So for the future of the character in the MCU. So with Sue's official and exceptional entry into the MCU, we got a good taste of what she's capable of, as well as a few leads of what can happen next, given the first stinger at the end of the film. Not to mention the mysterious Fantastic Four ship at the end of Thunderbolts. So what do we think, Jeff?
I think, well, it's not just like her. It's like you have to go you have to, the sky's the limit with these four. Like you have to, like, I don't want to use the word take advantage of them, but I just like take advantage of like the Fantastic Four story. Like let them lead this era.
Yeah.
Like they're the first family, like for God's sakes. Like, and you have four amazing actors who are obviously now that they can play the role. So sky's the limit, and it's obviously that Susan Storm is a very big anchor and pillar of the four. So ride with it.
Yeah.
Like start filming the sequel or something.
Yeah.
In like 2 years.
Yeah.
Or a year from now.
Do you think they'll do a sequel?
You have to do something with them. You cannot let waste these four.
Yeah.
Like, and obviously that's easier said than done because maybe they're like I don't want to sign like a contract or they have other things lined up. But it's like find the time for these four.
Yeah.
And build something.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it has to be post Secret Wars. But
God, that's so crazy.
But just something has to happen with them after Secret Wars because obviously they're going to play a huge role in Doomsday and in Secret Wars going forward. But just these have to be the Robert Downey Jr.'s of this
new era. Yeah.
So
well, and they have said before that Pedro is essentially filling the shape of Robert Downey Jr. in this new phase.
So he's the smartest, intelligent man, and he's like the most recognized actor right now.
Yeah.
And
exactly. Yeah, I agree. And I think that they laid the groundwork again with the way she's evolved in her representation and the fact that she can go toe to toe with Galactus to show that, in the next time you see this woman, she's going to be so amped up that she's going to be so formidable that she's going to give off energy like Scarlet Witch did in Infinity War. She's going to be at that level. And the added value that she is also a leader. She's got leader roots in her. And so she and Reed together along with Johnny and Ben, I mean,
So
Sky
hopefully
is
we
the
just
limit.
see a lot of them within the next 7 years. That's all I can say. That's all I'll say.
We definitely got 2 more years, so that's good. Yeah, so it'll be 3 consecutive years of them present somewhere and they could be inserted somewhere else, which
I
is
hope
great.
so.
But I imagine if indeed they're going to go for it and do a second film for Fantastic Four, then I imagine a 28, 29 drop.
Like, give them a proper trilogy.
That'd be great. I would love that. I don't know if it's...
That's it. Like, that's all. Like, that should be, in my opinion, at least something in filmmaking, like, is to make like a proper trilogy. I feel like audiences are too greedy. Like, they just want to keep seeing them. But I'm like, no. Just go the James Gunn route. Give these heroes a proper send off.
But some of the thirds, like, suck.
Yeah, don't make them suck.
Quantumania is
like don't make them suck. Well, I, for what it's worth, I will give Quantumania some like some slack, just because it was during a time that
that's the thing.
You know that a lot of films suffered that. During that time of Disney wanted Marvel to just push out.
Yeah.
So it's unfortunate, but you know, in the most recent article that we talked about with with Feige saying like like not a reboot but a reset, like now you have this chance for the next 7 years to just knuckle down, reset things with Secret War and Doomsday, and just do something that will pay off at the end, because that's what you were lacking.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
So hopefully
we will see.
Yeah, all you can do is just wait.
Yeah,
that's
patience.
fine, man.
Patience is a virtue for sure.
Yeah.
So, for suggested reading, this was tough because again, I'm not familiar with Fantastic Four as much as I would want to be. Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
So, at large, classic Fantastic Four title. Just read them all. They have the greatest Sue stories stemming from, especially numbers 260 up onward to 280s when she becomes Malice, and then there's a title released in 2019 from famed writer Mark Waid, known for Daredevil, for the record, one of my favorite runs of Daredevil. He also worked on a solo series for Sue that was highly acclaimed, and it was her first solo series ever, for the record.
Whoa.
So she came out in 1961.
Yeah.
Did not have a solo title until 2019.
Wow.
Do the math. Crazy.
Long time.
That took long enough. And so it was very, very well received by readers. Then there's Fantastic Four Annual Number 3 from 1965. Once again, that's the wedding. So if you want all the chaos and the
that's right.
awesome covers with all the characters on them, definitely check that out. And the current run in 2025, led by Ryan North, which received its fair amount of praise as well. Ryan North has done quite a bit for Marvel, and he did Squirrel Girl for a while. So he's kind of got this great balance of writing style that is apparently very suited for Fantastic Four. So check that out as well. And then all that said, that is the end of the show. Woo! Oh my gosh. Thanks for listening. So next episode, things are about to get hot.
Oh, yeah.
As we continue along with our fabulous first family. So join us in 2 weeks as we discuss all things Johnny Storm, a.k.a. the Human Torch. And finally, thank you to all of our Patreon supporters and a special We Are Groot salute to Melanie, Nats, Andrew, Laura, Edgar, Katie, Ed, Robin, Chris, Tyler, Ashley, Sherry, Jenny, Joe, Liz, and Andrea. Follow us on social at STRKCNTRST. And if by chance you experienced ads during this episode, you can unlock an ad-free version of the podcast by supporting us on Patreon. And if you like what you hear, review, rate, and subscribe.
Once again, thanks for listening. We will catch y'all in the next one.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
He wanted us to be together because that's what family is. It's about fighting for something bigger than yourself. It's about connecting to something bigger than yourself.